A tumor that has no blood supply cannot grow beyond the size of the tip of a ballpoint pen. That tiny dot, that is its absolute limit. Without oxygen and without nutrients, it simply stays frozen in place, too small to cause any harm. But the moment blood vessels reach that microscopic cluster of abnormal cells and begin feeding it, something terrifying happens. A cancer the size of a ballpoint pen tip can expand 16,000 times in just 2 weeks. That is not slow growth. That is an explosion. And it happens the moment the body loses its ability to control blood vessel formation, a process called angiogenesis, and cancer hijacks it entirely. Understanding this was the starting point of an entire field of research. The original goal was straightforward: develop pharmaceutical drugs that could starve a cancer by cutting off its blood supply. That work succeeded, and anti-angiogenic drugs are now among the standard tools used in cancer treatment today. But what emerged alongside that pharmaceutical work turned out to be even more remarkable. When researchers began applying the same testing systems used to develop those drugs to everyday foods, they discovered something that changed the conversation entirely. More than 100 common foods have been found to possess the ability to cut off blood supply to tumors, the same fundamental mechanism as the drugs found naturally in what we eat. One of the earliest and most striking discoveries came from something as ordinary as a cup of green tea. When green tea polyphenols were introduced into the same lab system being used to test cancer drugs, the effect was immediate and dramatic. The polyphenols stopped the blood vessels feeding the cancer with a potency that, had it come from a pharmaceutical company rather than a tea leaf, would have caused genuine excitement in the research world. The active compound is called EGCG, and it is one of the most studied bioactive substances in nutritional science. Resveratrol, found in red wine, has demonstrated similarly powerful anti-angiogenic properties. And genistein, the phytoestrogen found in soy, has been shown in human breast cancer patients to cut off the blood supply feeding breast cancer, the precise opposite of the widespread fear that soy is harmful for women with hormone-sensitive cancers. That fear deserves to be addressed directly. Soy's phytoestrogens bear no meaningful structural resemblance to human estrogen when you look at the actual chemistry. They do not mimic human estrogen. They block it. They are anti-angiogenic, and they have been shown to reduce blood supply to breast cancer tumors in real patients. The idea that soy is dangerous for cancer patients is not supported by the science. It contradicts it. Tomatoes contain lycopene, another powerful anti-angiogenic compound. Many of the foods long recognized as healthy are now being understood in a deeper way, not just as sources of vitamins and minerals, but as natural systems for cutting off the fuel supply that cancers depend on to grow. Blueberries take this further in a different direction. Their deep blue color comes from a natural pigment called anthocyanin, and anthocyanins have been found to be potent activators of the immune system in a profoundly beneficial way. They do not provoke autoimmune responses. Instead, they elevate T cells and natural killer cells, the specialized cells that function as the immune system's frontline fighters, seeking out and destroying threats including abnormal cells. Research has shown that consuming around a cup and a half of blueberries daily can elevate T cell levels by approximately 88%. Athletes who eat blueberries regularly maintain a baseline level of immune readiness that keeps their defenses operating at their peak consistently. Anthocyanins also lower inflammation at the same time, addressing what is often framed as a contradiction in health conversations. We want strong immunity and we want low inflammation, and people often assume these goals are in conflict. Blueberries accomplish both simultaneously. Broccoli works through an entirely different but equally powerful mechanism. It contains a family of natural compounds called sulforaphane, which gives broccoli its distinctive flavor and is also found in kale, chard, and related vegetables. Sulforaphane has been shown to significantly boost T cell activity. Again, those critical immune soldiers, simply through regular consumption. But there are two things worth knowing that most people miss entirely. First, the stems of broccoli contain twice the concentration of sulforaphane as the florets at the top. Most people discard the stems, which means they are throwing away the most potent part of the vegetable. The stems can be blended into soups, A simple broccoli and oregano soup with vegetable stock is both delicious and remarkably nutrient dense. Second, if you want to genuinely maximize the sulforaphane content of broccoli, eat broccoli sprouts. These are the 3 to 4 day old seedlings, and they contain approximately 100 times more sulforaphane than mature broccoli. A study looking at healthy 20-year-olds receiving the flu vaccine found that giving them a shake made from broccoli sprouts alongside the vaccine amplified their immune response by 22 times. Not 22%, 22 times, without triggering inflammation. There is a broader philosophy worth addressing here, because how we talk about food and health matters as much as what we say. Most dietary guidance is built on restriction and fear. Remove this, avoid that, you're doing it wrong. That approach does not work for most people over the long term because human nature resists deprivation. Tell someone they cannot have something and the mind immediately fixates on exactly that thing. Strict restrictive diets are unsustainable, and the shame and guilt that often accompany traditional nutrition counseling don't motivate people. They demoralize them. A more effective approach starts from a completely different place. There are more than 200 foods that have been identified as actively supporting the body's own health defense systems: angiogenesis control, stem cell function, microbiome health, DNA protection, and immune strength. When you look at a list that extensive, almost everyone finds multiple foods they already enjoy. And that is the starting point. What you already enjoy eating is very likely already doing something good for your body. Build from there. Add more of what supports your health. The more time and attention you give to fortifying your body's defenses through food, the less room there is for the things that undermine them. And when you do occasionally eat something that isn't ideal, and you will because that is part of living a normal human life, your body's defenses are strong enough to absorb it. This is not a rigid system. It is a resilient one. Kiwi is one of the most underappreciated examples of this philosophy in action. Small, fuzzy, easy to overlook. But the research on kiwi is genuinely remarkable. It is an exceptional source of vitamin C and fiber, and the vitamin C functions as a powerful antioxidant with a specific and measurable effect on DNA protection. Studies have shown that eating just 1 kiwi a day can protect DNA from damage by approximately 60%. Eating 3 kiwis a day doesn't just protect DNA. It has been shown to help the body actually repair existing DNA damage by around 60% as well. The ability to protect and rebuild your own genetic material through a single piece of fruit is a concept worth pausing on. That is not a supplement. That is not a pharmaceutical. That is something you can slice into a bowl of yogurt this morning. Kiwi's fiber content adds another layer entirely. Fiber from kiwi feeds the gut microbiome, and research conducted in Singapore found that eating even a single kiwi overnight was enough to begin shifting the microbial composition of the gut toward healthier bacterial species. 1 piece of fruit, 1 night, a measurable change in the ecosystem of beneficial bacteria that governs inflammation, immunity, metabolism, and more. The common thread running through all of this is that your body comes equipped with extraordinary systems for protecting itself. Angiogenesis control to starve abnormal growths, an immune army of T cells and natural killer cells hunting down threats, a gut microbiome generating anti-inflammatory compounds, DNA repair mechanisms capable of correcting genetic damage. These systems are not passive. They are active, responsive, and deeply influenced by what you put into your body every single day. Food is not just fuel, it is instruction. And the instructions you give your body through what you eat determine how well those defense systems function, not just today, but across every year of your life that follows.